Hey everyone, we're here today to show you how to effectively give a presentation for 201, 202, and Preview Day.
In this video, we'll provide you with links for each one, and that'll help you navigate through it easier. But first, we'll show you guys a few general tips as well as how not to dress and how to dress for these presentations.
Okay, so I am an example of how not to dress for the presentations, and Megan is a perfect example of how to dress for the presentations.
We prefer that you wear your back polo, but if you don't have one, then you can wear another yellow polo or just something that you would wear to one of our meetings, business casual.
No jeans or no t-shirts, but you can wear khakis or slacks.
Okay, so when you come into the classroom, you can log on to the computer like you would any other computer, like in the library, if the teacher isn't already in and already logged on to theirs. While you're waiting for that, notice if the screen is already down. If it is, no problem, that's what you need to be. If not, most classrooms have the button by the door. You just press that and it'll go up and down. All right, from here, you can either put in the jump drive and open it up through there, or you can go to Moodle. Once you're logged on to Moodle, you can just go to the Beta Alpha Psi webpage that you should have. You click on that, and then depending on which presentation you're doing, you open that up. And it will download. If it starts taking a while to download, just use the flash drive, but in most cases it shouldn't take more than 45 seconds or so. These start with a video, so before you even open it up and everything, go ahead and press display on right here, and then make sure the volume's at about 3 so that they can hear it well. And the PC button is also clicked.
Okay, so as you can see, we have it all set up. But before you get started, you want to be sure to disperse yourselves evenly across the screen. So you always need one person by the computer to change the slides, but you want to have people on the other side of the screen as well. Before you go ahead and get started, you want to make sure that you introduce yourselves, explain that you're with Beta Alpha Psi, and tell them why you're there.
You can also explain why you're there, which is for each different presentation, it's different, and we'll give you more details about that with each link in the video.
Okay, so first we're going to start off with the walkthrough of the 201 presentation. So as you can see, Megan and I are placed separately across the room, and as you can tell, I'm projecting my voice so that way people in the back of the room can hear me speaking. I don't want to be mumbling because I want them to be able to hear what I'm saying. So I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation, and please keep in mind that the first slide is a video and it will start automatically, so let it play fully.
I think accounting would be great. There's so many job opportunities, so many businesses around.
Alright, from here, this is the title slide. This is a good opportunity to ask the crowd or the students how many of them are accounting majors already, and then kind of expound on that. That's why we're here.
Okay, so for this slide, you don't want to read the statement on the slide. You basically want to give your own definition of what you think accountants do. You know, to you, accountants might be those who go out on auditing jobs every week, or, you know, a forensic accountant trying to get the bad guys who commit fraud. So just basically put your own experience into it and make sure that you play the videos. These are videos.
I think
they play.
Unique opportunity for
you always want to make sure that the volume's loud enough too. So make sure that you play them fully.
Okay, for this one, once again, don't just read off of it. You know, the students can read it themselves, and then you just kind of expound on it. Like for computer literacy, mention that you have to know QuickBooks and Excel and those different things. So just with each one, just kind of explain a little bit more. That way you give them more information than what's already on the slide.
For this one, you want to explain that the stereotypical accountants that work behind a desk all day isn't necessarily true. Explain to them that auditors go out of town and work in client's office for sometimes days or a week at a time, and that they're not just sitting behind a desk on their computer all day long. It's many different things. You can travel internationally and work for international firms, or work from your home.
For this slide, as like the others, just don't read off of it. You can mention that the 4 firms on the outside are known as the Big 4 firms, which basically just means they're very well established throughout the world, And you could also mention that EY, Ernst & Young, they actually opened up an office in Lafayette recently, so that's something that is really cool.
Okay, so there are several different career paths that an accountant can go in. Like I said, it's not just a stereotype sitting behind a desk. You can be a forensic accountant, work for the FBI. You can work for an international firm and travel as an auditor and go to different clients' offices.
Alright, for this one, it's a lot of information on there. So once again, just don't read off of it. But the main idea behind it that you want to tell them is, private firms, you kind of work for one company, whereas public, you work for many different ones. And another great thing to mention is that a lot of people prefer to start off in public and then move over to private. It's just an easier transition.
Okay, so for salaries, you don't want to give them a specific number because it varies with what city you're in or what kind of degree you have. Like if you have a PhD, you're obviously going to make more starting out than if you just have a bachelor's degree. So you can tell them that with each certification increases their pay, like the CPA certification. You will obviously make more money if you're a CPA, whereas if you're not a CPA. And also just mention that the accounting degree has a lot of room for advancement. So the longer you work in the accounting field, the higher up you can get.
For this one, basically just mention that you don't have to have an accounting degree. You can have any other kind of bachelor's degree. Also mention that the core business courses that are listed are already built into UL's curriculum. So once you graduate, as long as you have 150 hours, you're pretty much ready to go to sit for it.
Okay, so for this slide, you basically want to let everyone know that our accounting department is one of the top departments in the country, and that's because we have a double accreditation. A double accreditation means that our business college and our accounting department are both accredited. And being accredited means that they meet certain standards every year. And you want to make sure that you play these videos fully.
I think we are very fortunate to have the faculty that we do.
Once again, make sure the sound is high up enough.
Okay, for this slide, mainly what you just want to mention, be sure to let them know that the scholarships for the department and for the College of Business, you aren't eligible for those until you are an upperclassman. So that is something that they need to know.
Okay, so be sure to let them know that there is a ton of options for tutoring all across campus. Let them know that Beta Alpha Psi does tutoring on Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. in the library on the second floor. Also let them know about the Learning Center in Lee Hall. They have tutoring sessions for 201 and 202, and I believe 301 classes as well. Also mention that the accounting department does do tutoring, and just briefly mention that they can talk to their teacher about it to find out more information about that.
Okay, for this one it lists a lot of organizations. You can touch more on the ones in the college if you'd like, especially Beta Alpha Psi. That's something that you're in. Don't expound on it too much because that's not the purpose of this particular presentation. But just kind of list them why it's great to get involved in different organizations, connections, building professional skills, stuff like that. Kind of play on what you already know your personal experiences for that one.
Okay, and this is the very last slide, and it's basically a video of student testimonials saying what they like about the accounting department and just basically recapping everything that we just said. So as you can see, the video did jump a little bit on us, but instead of freaking out and making a big deal about it, I just calmly tried to switch it to the correct slide that we were supposed to be on. So you don't want to make a big deal whenever technology goes wrong like that. So be sure to play the video and make sure the volume is loud, and this concludes the 201 presentation. Be sure to ask them if they have any questions and thank them for their time. Okay, so now we're going to start with the 202 presentations. So whenever you come into the classroom and introduce yourself after you have everything set up, be sure to let them know that you're here with Beta Alpha Psi, and that you're here today to talk to them about the organization and why they should join it. So this video does not have, this presentation does not have a video for the first slide, so you can just go straight into the beginning.
Okay, so for the first slide, pretty much just mention that it is an international organization. It's not just local firms, so we are a part of something bigger, and that's a really great aspect to have in an organization.
For this slide, you basically just want to tell them that our mission is something that our executive committee members came up with ourselves last summer.
Turning following into leaders, that's one of our main aspects. So basically what we took that mission statement and throughout the whole PowerPoint, we have these transition slides taking those main points from it. So for these, you can kind of just lead into the next slide saying, now we'll talk about the leadership aspect of our mission statement. For this one, executive committee, that's EC, we have 9 members currently. And what we do is we meet over the summers, brainstorm about how to improve what we've been working on. We also come up with the mission statement. We strive to keep that going throughout everything that we do. And you know, if you want to mention to them that it's a great thing to aspire for, you know, you have more responsibilities, but you do get more out of it if you are an EC. Just kind of push for that because we are always looking for people to join.
Okay, so basically, like Megan said, this is a transition slide. So now you're going to say, now we're going to talk about the service aspect of our mission statement. So briefly tell them about some of the service events that we do, and you can just talk off of your head for this. If you've been to some of the service events like Habitat for Humanity, just tell them that's when we work together with the organization to help build a house for someone in need. We do Operation Move-In whenever we help incoming freshmen move into their dorms. It's a really great way for us to get to know the freshmen on a personal level. Bowl for Kids' Sake is when we basically bowl and have fun and donate all the money that we raise to the Boys and Girls Club of Acadiana. So basically just talk off the top of your head and from personal experiences. You can mention that candidates need 8 hours a semester and members need 10. But you also want to mention that they can get those hours by some of the required events that we have listed.
The last transition slide that we have is the professional aspect, so once again, just kind of mention that. For this one, mainly play off of the meetings that we have, the guest speakers. We have people who talk about the CPA exam. We have people, of course, the forensic accountant, you know, the FBI people. Those are always the ones that get people excited. So mention the more exciting ones, and you know, there's some that are still informational, local CPA firms, because that's most of the time where you're going to be going straight when you know, right when you graduate. So it's all good information to have. Also mention things about the resume workshops. You know, that's something that a lot of people need. They don't really notice until they get into upper division, but it's great to have when it's there. Also dining etiquette, that's one of the main ones. That's when we have the hospitality management class that prepares a meal for us, has the whole restaurant experience. So just kind of pick the ones that you know more about, or, you know, hey, ask one of us who's been in it longer than you if you don't know what it's about, just to expound on it more and get them excited about it.
So for this one, you basically want to elaborate on the opportunities that are available for them. Definitely scholarship, travel, job opportunities. Just speak from personal experience again. I know I would never have all the scholarships that I've gotten if it weren't for being in Beta Alpha Psi. So just say something along those lines. Also, travel experiences to our regional and annual meetings. Everyone's invited to come. All the members are invited to come for the regional meetings. So just make sure that you let them know that they definitely have opportunities for travel. Also, let them know about our new gold member status that we have this semester. And if you don't know what that is, gold member status will be granted to those who do more than the requirements. So instead of doing 10 hours for a member, they do 12. And basically for those members who meet gold member status, we give that list to recruiters at CPA firms in the area and those who come through career services. So you basically just want to elaborate on all of the many opportunities that are available to them. And point out some of the pictures that we have. These are pictures from when we do travel, when we went to California, when we went to Georgia. So be sure that you mention that.
These are the requirements. You can pretty much list them, as well as let them know that the invitations, they do start in 301, but they go all the way to 303 if for some reason, you know, you weren't here for 301 or you look up your grades later on. And that's pretty much it for this slide.
So at the end, you just want to thank them and ask them if you have any questions. And if you get asked a question that you don't necessarily know the direct answer, just either try and find the best answer for them, or let them know that you will find out and you will somehow get back to them by letting their teacher know to let you know, or something along those lines. Alright, this concludes the 202 presentation. Okay, so now we're going to start with the preview day presentation. So whenever you introduce yourselves to the students, there's not going to be many students, maybe 10 to 15, because it is preview day, there's not that big of a turnout. So just let them know that you're with Beta Alpha Psi, an accounting organization here on campus, and that you're here to talk to them about the accounting profession and why they should be an accounting major. So this presentation does start with a video, so you want to make sure that you don't start it until you're ready.
The University of Louisiana at
I think accounting is a great school because there's so many job opportunities, so many businesses around in the Louisiana Lafayette especially. I'm really encouraged. I think
and get educated.
Okay, so for the first slide, it's just a brief overview of what UL has to offer. So just kind of touch on these a little bit, that it's more than just the degrees, although they do offer many the sports and different things like that. Also, they do have 2 videos on this one, so you do want to play those as well.
Okay, for this slide, you basically just want to mention that these are the requirements. They can read them here, or they can go look online. All this is available to them online. The main thing that you want to mention that's changed about our curriculum is the fact that no students are allowed to have remedial courses. So that's basically the main thing that's changed in the past couple of years.
This is the title slide. Not much to say. Just let them know. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and jump in and get y'all. Let them know what they need to know to get started. For this one, don't have to read off of it. Just kind of expand. I'll expand more on the intersessions. Let them know it's a two-week session that's after, or it's in between semesters. And then also let them know that for the summer sessions, they have some that are strictly June, strictly July, or June and July. So just to let them know they have a few more options.
Okay, so for this slide, you basically just want to give your own experience about how you use the curriculum before you go to advising. We have the accounting curriculum up here. They can find that online as well. This is basically just a screenshot of what scheduling your classes looks like, or how you can find out what time certain classes are offered. So you basically just want to mention that, before they go to advising, they usually look at the curriculum. The students need to look at the curriculum, see what classes they need to take. If they're unsure, that's what their advisor's for.
Once again, a title slide, kind of let them know now we'll be talking more about accounting in particular. For this one, kind of give your own definition of what accounting is, similar to the 201 presentation. Just play up with your own personal experiences. Don't read it word for word, and then make sure you play both of the videos.
So for this slide, you basically want to mention that the pictures that they see on the screen are the big 4 firms. If they don't know what the big 4 firms are, just tell them that these are some 4 top accounting firms in the world, because they are international firms. They're not just firms located here in the United States. Also, mention a couple of career paths that they can take with an accounting degree, such as taxes, auditing, forensic accounting, financial reporting. All of that is available to them.
For this one, don't read off. That's a lot of information. They can read it as you're kind of talking. Basically, just say private, you're working for one company, whereas public, you're kind of handling a bunch of different accounts from different companies. Also mention that it's easier to start off in public and then go to private later. It's just an easier transition.
So for this slide, you don't want to give them a direct quote from a starting salary, because that depends on what city you live in, and also the degree you have. If you have a PhD in accounting, you're obviously going to make more starting out than if you have just a bachelor's degree in accounting. But do let them know that the accounting degree does offer a lot of room for advancement. So if they stay in the field for a while, as they move up in the company, they'll definitely make more as they keep moving up the ladder. Definitely mention that obtaining a CPA license ensures more money. You'll obviously make more if you have a CPA license, whereas accountants who don't have a CPA license.
These are the brief requirements for the CPA exam. Once again, mention that UL does have those core classes embedded into their curriculum. You just have to worry about getting the extra 30 hours. Also, those are the benefits. They're great to have. Mention that a lot of times companies, they strive to have more CPAs on their payroll. So sometimes they'll give you benefits. They'll give you time to study at work. They'll give you packages that will help pay toward your study programs for the CPA exam. So that's something cool that you could mention as well.
Okay, so this is the title slide. Basically, just tell them, so why should you be an accounting major at UL? And rolling into it, definitely stress on the fact that our accounting department is one of the top in the country. We have a double accreditation, which means that both our business college and our accounting department are accredited. Being accredited just means that they meet certain standards every year. Also mention that our accounting department has a very high CPA passing rate. That's something a lot of people don't know. And although some of our classes are harder compared to other universities, this is why, because we have such a high CPA pass rate. Also mention the accounting organizations, Beta Alpha Psi and IMA, that they can get involved in.
This is the last one. It's also a video. It doesn't automatically play, so you will have to click on it. It's a few minutes long, but just let it play throughout.
And at the end, just ask them if they have any questions. Thank them for being there. Usually preview day students have a lot of questions because they have their parents with them. So if they ask you a question and you aren't necessarily sure about the answer, maybe someone else who's doing the presentation with you will know the answer. If not, just let them know that they could probably find out more information online, or usually there is a faculty member, usually Miss Pam Meyer, is up in her office on the day of preview day. So if she is there on that day, then you can send them upstairs to her office so they can ask their more detailed questions. And that concludes the preview day presentation. Thank you. Okay guys, thanks for watching. This concludes our mock walkthrough presentation. Please notice that whenever we did the presentation, we made eye contact with the camera the entire time. So if there were actual students sitting in this room, we would make eye contact with them. We wouldn't look at the wall, the ceiling, or the floor. So that's definitely something that you need to try and do.
Also, keep in mind, these are some guidelines. We just want to help you guys out. I know sometimes you don't know much about the slides, but the main reasons that we do this is, to play off of your personal experiences, make it personable. If you have something you'd like to add that we didn't mention, go for it. Also, this is all meant to help you build your professional skills to become a lot better speaker before you know it. So just keep all of that in mind while you're presenting. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.